Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great. So, in today's session, we are going to revise together how to answer the critical reading questions on the articles that we give you, whether you're doing an article for practice or if it's an exam or a quiz. We're just going to discuss how your answers should look like and discuss some of the strategies that you can use to answer these questions. Okay, are you ready? So let's start with what's usually the first question. What is the purpose of the text? Provide evidence. So when we are grading your papers, we expect your answer to look like this. The purpose of the text is to inform the readers of something, or persuade, convince, it's the same, the readers of something, or to warn the readers against something, plus your evidence, which is very, very important. So I'm going to look at the article and try to ask myself, what does this writer want from me as the reader? Is he just trying to give me information? That's all. If that's the case, then it's inform. Or is it argumentative? Is he trying to convince me, to change my mind, to make me believe something that he thinks I should believe? If that's the case, then my answer would be persuade or convince. It's the same as we agreed. Or is the author trying to warn me against something, the dangers of smoking or drugs or whatever? If this is the case, then my answer is going to be warn. But I want you to be very careful. You cannot say the purpose of the text is to persuade the readers, full stop. No, you have to tell me persuade the readers of what? What is the idea that he is trying to persuade me of? And to give some evidence. It can be very short, general evidence, but you have to give me some evidence from the article that the author is trying to warn, inform, or convince. Okay? So again, I ask myself, what does the writer want from me as the reader? And then I make sure that I have evidence to support my answer. Then I write the answer as you can see in the PowerPoint presentation. Okay? Then, usually, the second question asks you about the tone. What is the writer's tone in paragraph 1 or 2 or whatever? Okay, so as we said before, in order to know someone's tone, usually we need to hear their voice, right? How they're speaking, if they're angry, if they're crying. So in this case, when we are reading the article, we cannot hear the author. So the only tool we have to know their tone, to know their attitude or their feeling about this idea or this topic is their word choice. So I'm going to look what kind of words is the author choosing, and then I'm going to write my answer like this. The writer's tone is, and then I'm going to use an adjective to describe his attitude towards this idea. So the writer's tone is angry or serious or compassionate or sympathetic or whatever, but it has to be an adjective because we are describing his feelings and his attitude towards a certain idea. So is this enough for my answer? No, remember, you always have to provide evidence. So in all the questions, we always ask you to use your own words to paraphrase, never to copy from the article. However, in this question, you are required to copy the words that the writer used that made you think that this is his tone. So the writer's tone is sad, as he used words such as crying, tears, something like this. Okay, is it clear? Let's move on to the next question. Paraphrase the arguments that the writer uses to support their position in paragraph whatever. So arguments means ideas, main ideas, sub-ideas, whatever. They have to be ideas. So in this question, simply what we want you to do is to explain these arguments in your own words. Don't copy from the paragraph. Use your own language, use your own words, and then don't forget to add in-text citation, because although this is your language, but it's not your ideas, it's the writer's ideas. So we have to give him or her credit for their ideas. So we are going to open the parentheses, write their last name and year from the citation information we have in the beginning of the article. Okay, so this question should be very easy to answer. You just have to understand the arguments and then write them in your own words, in your own language, and add citation. That's all very easy. Let's move on to the next question. So this one is asking about the bias. So what does it mean to be biased? It means that you are taking one side and that you are not being neutral. So if I am trying to explain to you something about A and B, and I am neutral, I am going to give you enough information about A and enough information about B. But if I want to convince you that A is better, I am not going to give you enough information about B. So my answer is going to be either yes, he's biased, or no, he's not biased. How can I know? I have to look at the article. Is he giving enough support for both points of view? If one of them is more than the other, then he is biased. Okay, maybe he is giving equal support or equal evidence, but the type of evidence he is giving for B is better. So maybe it is research paper or scientific based information, while for A, he is just giving opinions of people, which is weak evidence. So I have to look very closely at the article and ask myself, is this writer being neutral, or is he taking one side over the other side? Again, the most important thing is to provide evidence so that we can give you the grade when you convince us with your evidence that your answer is correct. Remember, we want you to be critical thinkers. So you cannot just write an answer and run away. No, you have to show us how you reached this conclusion, how you reached this answer. Okay, I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question is usually about inference. What can you infer from paragraph 6 or 7 or 8 or any paragraph? So let's remember together again, as we mentioned earlier, what is an inference? An inference is an educated guess. So it's when you read between the lines, it's when you understand something from the author, but he didn't say it directly. You got it indirectly from what he is writing. So your answer should look like this. What can be inferred from this paragraph is that, and you write your inference, and then most importantly, your evidence. So your inference cannot be something that is mentioned directly in the article. It has to be something that you understood. So for example, if I told you I have 3 kids, what would your inference be? You don't know anything about me, but I am telling you that I have 3 kids. Some people might say, my inference is that you are married, but this is not an inference, this is a guess. Why? Because you have no evidence that this is correct. I might be divorced, right? So someone else can say that if I have 3 kids, then the inference is I am a mother. What is the evidence? I have 3 kids. Yes, this is correct. This is an inference. Why? Because you guessed something, but based on evidence. Okay? So the more you practice, the more easy it will get to infer something, and most importantly, to provide evidence for it. Okay? Very good. Then, lastly, and usually this question is easy for most of you, what do the following pronouns refer to? We give you a pronoun, he, she, it, they, and then we want you to look whether in the same sentence, the sentence before, the sentence after, what does it refer to? So if I told you, Sam is hungry, he went to get a sandwich. He here refers to Sam. So it's usually very easy. You just have to look closely. So It's very important to know how to answer the questions, but it's also important to know what your answer should look like. And I hope that this video helped you understand more how to write your answers clearly in order to get the best grades. Thank you very much for watching. Best of luck. Bye.